Have you ever been in one of those toxic relationships where the angrier the two of you are at one another, the closer you are to making out, where every date that you have ends in a yelling match? Well, almost. Penultimately, there is a yelling match before other stuff. Have you ever been in one of those toxic relationships where you know something isn't right, but the more you hate each other, the more you want each other? You haven't been in a toxic relationship quite the same way as the one we're going to talk about today. Welcome to Strip Coverlet, where we squeeze the bigger picture of literature. I'm Adrian Fort, and we are here for another poetry discussion, which will take place in two separate playlists here on the channel. Number one, the poetry discussion playlist, now over 500 poems strong, and number two, the Horror Fest 2024, 31 horror poems, short stories, novels in 31 days for the month of October 2024. But the poem in question today is known as The Apparition by John Donne. And there is an extremely sort of out there idea in this poem that we are going to focus most of the video around, because only only John Donne, I think, only John Donne, maybe Shakespeare, but I don't even think he wrote necessarily about this type of stuff. Anyway, when by thy scorn, O murderess, I am dead, and that thou think'st thee free from all solicitation from me, then shall my ghost come to thy bed, and thee, feigned vessel, in worse arms shall see. Then thy sick taper will begin to wink, and he, whose thou art then, being tired before, will, if thou stir or pinch to wake him, think thou call'st for more, and in false sleep will from thee shrink. And then, poor aspen wretch, neglected thou, bathed in a cold quicksilver sweat, wilt lie, a verier ghost than I. What I will say I will not tell thee now, lest that preserve thee, and since my love is spent, I had rather thou shouldst painfully repent, than by my threatenings rest still innocent. Okay, so the first thing that we have to talk about here is the situation at hand. It seems that our speaker is being left for another man, and is saying, this will kill me. I will be a ghost the next time you see me. When thy scorn, O murderess, by thy scorn, O murderess, I am dead. Because of this scorn that you have come to me with, leaving me for someone else, I'm going to die. And then you will think you're free of me. Oh, you won't see me again. You won't hear from me again soliciting you, calling you, beckoning you. There's a different connotation maybe to solicitation, but I don't know if that's really how John Donne is necessarily meaning it here. Then shall my ghost come to thy bed. You're going to leave me, I'm going to die, and I'm going to visit you in bed. That's how toxic this sort of is. By the way, O murderess, we don't understand how he's going to die, right? We don't understand if this is that classic threat, if you leave me, I'll blank, blank, blank. But we do understand that he means it, and the next time you see me, I will be a ghost. And here's where we get to something absolutely wild in this poem. And thee, feigned vestal, in whose arms shall see. So when I come to your bed, in whose arms shall see, you're going to be in someone else's arms. That other man is going to be there. And then thy sick taper will begin to wink. And he, your boyfriend, who was tired, was weak and tired, men don't get weak and tired, he will, if you pinch or wake him, if you stir or pinch to wake him, if you try to wake him up, while I'm there visiting you as a ghost, I know who this guy is. He will think you're calling for more. He'll think in those moments where you were just simply trying to wake him for defense, you were trying to wake him because you're being visited by my ghost, he'll think you're trying for the hubba hubba. That is what will happen with him. He'll think she's trying to wake me for hubba hubba. And in falls sleep from the shrink. So even though he thinks you're calling for the hubba hubba, he still won't wake up. And then, poor aspen wretch, neglected thou bathed in cold quicksilver sweat will lie, more of a ghost than me. So, the implication here is that your new boyfriend is so weak, so pathetic, that he won't even wake up in the middle of the night for some hubba hubba. He won't even get up for hubba hubba, let alone to protect you. He won't even get up for something that is self-interested. He won't even get up for that thing. Now, the real implication here being, our speaker would. Our speaker is saying, you know me, all hours of the night, whenever this thing happened, and you were looking for hubba hubba, oh, I would have been there, baby. This guy won't be. He won't even get up for the hubba hubba. He is less of a man than am I. So this is an absolutely wild assertion from our speaker here. And then, bathed in colder quicksilver sweat wilt lie. If he's not, so there is, here is the double sort of gut punch here from the speaker. Not only are you leaving me, killing me, by the way, in the process, not only are you leaving me, who would have woken up at all hours of the night for the hubba hubba, and you know that. You know that. From our toxic relationship, you know that. Not only are you leaving me for him who is less of a man than I, maybe you're not all of the woman that you thought you were. Bathed in cold quicksilver sweat will lie, a verier ghost than I. What I will say I will not tell thee now. So, maybe it's because he's less of a man that he won't wake up to protect you or to hubba hubba. Maybe, maybe you're fading away. Then we get into the part, what I will say, I will not tell thee now. You're going to have to wait for this message. You're going to have to wait for what I'm going to tell you, lest that preserve thee. And since my love is spent, I'd rather thou shouldst painfully repent. I want this to be painful for you. I want you to know just what you did to me. Then by my threatenings rest still innocent. And I'm going to tell you now, so that in the meantime, you're thinking about all of the things that I might come to you to say. You're brainstorming all of the ways that you did wrong me in the meanwhile. So an absolutely wild poem here from John Donne. Just the most toxic of relationships, the most toxic of situations. That turn of, look, I'm going to visit you when I'm a ghost, and your man won't even want you. But would just John Donne is one of the things that I love about John Donne is really sometimes it's almost impossible to predict where he's going to go. Sort of the opposite of Bukowski, for example. On some level, you read Bukowski because of the predictability. You read Bukowski because you know, I'm going to get a gruff old man. I'm going to get a confrontation. I'm going to get a slap in the face. Now, I read that poem still because I don't know how they're going to happen. I want to know how it is that Bukowski is going to lay those things on me. John Donne comes out of nowhere. John Donne is off the top rope. John Donne is out of pocket, as the kids say today. Anyway, that's all I have for this. The Apparition by John Donne. If you like or appreciate what it is that I do here, hitting the like button really does help me out, as it tells YouTube to share this video with other literature lovers. If you find yourself here by chance but not design, literature is the only thing I do on this channel, dropping poetry every Monday, and I hope to have you back for the next one.